One of the things that you probably don't yet know about your new rabbi is that, unfortunately, I have a terrible sense of direction. I always have difficulty getting around. I generally have to rely on my GPS. But fortunately, so far here in Charleston, I've been able to find my way from the rabbi's house to the shul office, which is really just around the corner. But slowly but surely, I'm going to be learning my way around the neighborhood, and I hope to, get a handle of things soon. But the truth is, I'm not the only Jewish leader who has struggled with navigation. The Talmud tells us in Tractate Zvachim 54b that David HaMelech, King David, actually struggled with locating perhaps the most important place on the globe. The Talmud tells us how David HaMelech was searching where would the temple be built. Though David himself did not build the temple, it would ultimately be his son Shlomo. David HaMelech, King David, was searching where exactly would the proper location be to build the temple, and he was searching through hints throughout the Tanakh to find its location. And the reason that David struggled with finding the location of Tanakh is actually because in this week's parsha, when we're told of the importance of having a central location to serve God, the Torah is actually very ambiguous in telling us where the place would be. We read in this week's parsha, Parshat Re'eh, chapter 12, verse 5, Ki im hamakom asher yivchar Hashem Elokeichem mikol shivteichem lasum es shemo sham, that it will only be in the place that God chooses, from a place that will be chosen from the property of all of the different tribes, that God will place his name there. That will be the place that the Jewish people will bring their offerings. So why is it that the Torah gives us this ambiguous description, tells us the place that God chooses? Traditionally, our tradition tells us that this was the place that Abraham brought Isaac for the Akedas Yitzchak, for the binding of his son. This is the place that Jacob prayed and dreamed and had the famous dream of the ladder and the angels going up and down. This place has already been designated and chosen by God. Why in our parsha is it given to us in a mystery? The place that God will choose, that David HaMelech had to use a prophet and search throughout the land of Israel in order to find the location. Why does God not just tell us in this week's parsha exactly where the place that the Beis HaMikdash, the place that the temple should be built, why not tell us exactly where it should be? I saw a beautiful idea suggested by Rav Shlomo Rabinowitz, who was a great Hasidic master in the 19th century in Poland, who suggests in his work on the parsha, the Tiferes Shlomo, suggests that the sanctity of the Beis HaMikdash, of the temple, was not its location. That God didn't want to confuse us and make us think that this place is holy just because this is the specific location. Though it's true that locations have sanctity in our religion, what gave the Mikdash, what gave the Beis HaMikdash, the temple, its sanctity, its holiness, was not the location, but what it says in our parsha of Makom asher yivchar Hashem Elokeichem mikol shivteichem, that it's a place that God chooses from all the tribes, that it's a place that the Jewish people together, the entire Jewish nation, all the different tribes would come together and find this location and agree upon this location. And together with God's help, find a location. This will be the place that we serve him. The Makom HaMikdash, the place that the temple lies, is only sacred and is only holy because the Jewish people were able to find that place and to be able to come together there. Not just because of where it lied, longitude, latitude on a map, but because of that is the location that the Jewish people could come together. I think that the synagogue traditionally is a mikdash ma'at. It's, although unfortunately we don't live in a world with a temple, our synagogues recreate the temple experience. And I've had some time to walk into the BSBI sanctuary, to walk around the campus, to see the buildings we have. But the truth is, these buildings, as sacred and holy as they are and historic, it's really just a shell. Just like we're told in this week's parsha that the location is merely a detail. What makes a temple and what makes a synagogue holy is really its people. And I think that's true about BSBI as well. Unfortunately, right now, I walk into our little temple, into our sanctuary, and it's somewhat depressing to realize that it's empty, that we're not able to fill it each week, we're not able to fill it each day, and we look forward to the day that we will hopefully be able to do so. As you probably saw in the buzz this week, this coming week we're going to be taking a small step towards reaching that sanctity of us all coming together again. We're going to be beginning or re-beginning our weekday minyanim, beginning with the Shachris, Mincha, Maariv services, beginning Sunday morning. I encourage you, if you're planning to join us for these services, to please fill out the registration form. Please don't feel pressured to join the services. If you feel concerned about your safety, there's no obligation for you to join. But we're hoping to be taking these small steps together as a community, and we look forward to the day where we're all able to join together in our sanctuary again and really bring it its ultimate sanctity and holiness, just as the Jewish people were able to bring to the temple. I wish you all a wonderful Shabbos.